Back on the air. Let's go to the phones. Caller, let me help you.
Hi, so I've been trying to get my landlord to fix my washing machine for weeks, but he keeps avoiding me. What do I do?
Excellent question. Well, have you been to AT&T?
Why? Is my landlord there?
No, but when you have AT&T Wireless and DirecTV, you can get unlimited data.
Sounds great. But how will that fix my washer?
Well, it won't. But now that AT&T and DirecTV have joined forces, you can enjoy your favorite DirecTV shows on your phone while you're counting quarters at the local laundromat.
Sweet.
Sweet indeed. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Come into AT&T now and get the Priv by BlackBerry.
Must have eligible TV service. If you're not eligible, AT&T will move you to a new plan and overage charges may apply. After 22 gigabytes of data usage, AT&T may reduce speeds. TV content varies by device, location, and package. Monthly and other charges, usage, and other restrictions apply. See store for plan details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good afternoon. This is Jerry Siegel speaking on behalf of the Time to Play Foundation with our weekly Business Success podcast. My background is extensive in management training and coaching. My business is JASB Management, and we specialize in trying to provide management to learn all the necessary skills that are other than the specifics of their business or industry. These weekly podcasts are sponsored by the Time to Play, which is a 501c3 not-for-profit organization that is purpose is to just help people learn to enjoy their life. And in that regard, before we get tied up with business success, let me share with any of those who listen currently live or subsequently in the podcast that on Saturday, May 21st, from 9 to 1 at the Ramada Plaza in Holtzville, we have a Winning at the Game of Life event and conference that only requires a $20 tax-deductible donation, which includes lunch. It's presented by the Time to Play Foundation, and it will be an event that will provide a tremendous opportunity to both learn as well as meet other people who are looking to do exactly those same things. Before we get started, let me ask Doreen Guma, who is the founder of Time to Play and is on the line, to introduce herself, and then we will get going, although we do have one other caller on the line today. Doreen?
Hi, good morning, and thank you, Jerry, for letting everybody know about the upcoming conference. We will be posting registration for that very shortly. Jerry and I were talking. We're just trying to solidify a couple of organizations that are participating with the conference with us. So we're very excited. This is something that's been very long in coming, and it is a get back to basics. It's time to enjoy life, so it's going to be wonderful. If you have any questions, you can, give a call over to 631-331-2675, and I look forward to seeing people there. So thank you, Jerry, for all that you do for the foundation.
Thank you, Doreen. And on today, we're appreciative that we have Ellen Williams, who's the CEO and the co-founder of B2B R&D, and we're going to be talking about the fact that business development is more than sales. I'm guessing that Ellen is on the line at this point in time. Ellen, you want to share who you are and introduce yourself for a moment?
Certainly. Thank you so much, Jerry and Doreen. Always a pleasure to be with you on this the webcast, the Blog Talk Radio. Happy to be back for a second time. As you mentioned, CEO and co-founder of B2B R&D, and our mission is to help marketers by delivering great content on the news and trends of digital marketing in a timely manner to give them back some time so that they can help the clients or their own business market a little better, grow a little more. And as we know, when small businesses grow and are successful, the economy gets better, and it's sort of a grassroots ground up to everybody just being more successful. And so that's what drives us. And I love the event you guys were just talking about, back to basics and enjoying life, and happy to be sort of in that mix, and hoping so are the customers and clients that we service.
Well, thank you, Ellen. And again, for anybody that is listening, one of the reasons that we are providing these podcasts is that achieving success in business is not easy. We often hear about the overnight success, but we do not hear about all the overnights that are required to become that, quote, overnight success, because there is no such thing in this life. There is no such thing in this world of business. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, it takes persistence, it takes an awful lot of effort and energy, and it requires a tremendous amount of knowledge as well as wisdom, and we're trying to provide those part of those essential ingredients in these weekly podcasts. So today we're going to be talking about the fact that, as I said before, business development is more than sales. Many people consider sales as the primary driver, and certainly that is one aspect of developing a business. But all the connections and the relationships that you make, that you build, can help a business grow. And what we'll be focusing on this afternoon is developing partnerships. Those are not partnerships in the true sense of what a partner is, but partners in that people are going to be helping each other. They're going to be working together. They're going to be collaborating together. They're going to be creating win-win situations where one organization, one individual is feeding off of the strengths of another and vice versa. So we're going to be talking about collaboration. We're going to be talking about referring. We're going to be talking about business ambassadors, the relationships that will help build the foundation of the business that can support and generate increased sales. Because one of the critical components of success in business, actually success in life, is that it's not what you know, it's who you know. And who you know is most essential in order to obtain the contacts and obtain the referrals that will allow the business to grow and succeed. So with that said, let me turn to Ellen, who is expert in this area, and ask her to start off our discussion today with some of the elements that we've touched on.
Thank you, Jerry. And you're exactly right. It's who you know. And when we talk about partnerships, back to your point, not the legal partnerships, not the formation of an organization, but the people that you meet along the way that are both ambassadors, as you said, but also teammates, I think. In some cases, they're going to be people who will refer you business, people who will partner with you in speaking about your business and supporting your growth. And other partners will be really much more involved with almost the day-to-day of your business from a standpoint of potentially putting together services that can develop the business further, where you don't take on those business services, you partner with someone else, and then the deliverable is much bigger than what you have on your own. And I think just two different ways of looking at partnerships, and there's probably many, many more out there, because it doesn't always have to be, as you said, it doesn't always have to be sales, and it doesn't always have to be the financial. There are other partnerships, a lot of them popping up, and not a new idea, but a lot of them popping up lately, more of a peer kind of partnership where it's a round table or a mastermind that you just offer your experiences like you're doing here on this show to help educate, to to help other businesses grow. And the opportunity for finding these people is so vast now because social media has given us a platform, and blogging and a couple other places you can find them online have given us a platform to not only look for them, but for everyone out there to be communicating what their expertise is or communicating what their needs are. You know, it works both ways on what you can find out there, either people looking for you or people that you might be looking for.
Very definitely, Ellen. And again, I think that comes back to one of the long-standing tenets in life, and that is the more you give, the more you get. And by helping somebody else, you in turn can find that somebody is going to turn around and help you. Well, we don't know necessarily when and where that reverse is going to be from, but it will happen. It has been proven over thousands of years, and that is exactly why we are trying to help those, because we understand that this is not an easy endeavor. And making the connections...
It's certainly not. It's not a solo endeavor either, as you've made
yes.
clear. It takes a lot of knowledge, and no matter how experienced you are in business or multifacets of business, no one knows it all. And that's especially true when it comes to online marketing and technologies, because, what we think we know today is just not the way it's going to be tomorrow. So having collaboration and that team of people helping you is definitely going to increase the chances for success.
Very definitely, and that's part of the reason why they certainly say frequently that two heads are better than one, and three are better than two, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that anybody can do to help themselves succeed in their business is to obtain input and feedback continually from their team, because typically somebody who is performing a job function often knows best what can be done or what can be expanded with that function, how it can be made easier, more effective, more significant, but they need to be encouraged by the leader. And we've talked back about the fact that leadership is obtaining assistance from everyone that is connected, everyone that is on the team, or as we've touching on today, some people who are not necessarily directly on the team, but who want to help in other ways because they know that by giving, they're going to get back on their own. So certainly making the connections is very important, but it's also important to remember that you want to ask for help, that it's okay to ask for help, and that it's not something that is shameful to admit that you don't know. As Ellen mentioned before, nobody can know everything. I've been fortunate that I've had a lot of years in business and prior careers. I happen to be a CPA, and I run a company of 125 people as CEO. And as I can say now, and as Doreen wrote in her book, if I knew then what I know now, life would be a whole lot easier. Life would be a whole lot better. But hopefully we live and we continue learning, and that is part of the reason why we are providing these podcasts to try to offer wisdom, insight, knowledge, experience to those that may not have had the opportunity to acquire it. And therefore, learning from somebody else's mistakes is a whole lot easier than making them oneself.
Proactive is the most important, and absolutely. And with Ellen, she's a tremendous resource because the information oversaturation is so tremendous on the World Wide Web. Years ago it wasn't as bad. Now it's just like crazy. Everybody's got a website. Their website has a website. Their website has a blog. Their Facebook has 10 Facebooks. How do you even keep up? It's most crazy. So, one of the reasons that I love her is it's like, working smarter, not harder, and just trying to really figure out what is the best options. So thank you for that.
Very, very true, Doreen.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Doreen. Back to something that Jerry said. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that's vital, and not worrying about people and what they think of that. And so one way that we're starting to see communications happening on the Internet with all the tons of information that's available. So number one, that's easier for us to find people that would be a good partner, a good maybe external teammate, a good referrer, whatever that business development person we might be looking for. So you make the initial connection, whether it's connecting on LinkedIn or following on Twitter or any of the other platforms. But what's really evolving now in the communication is the direct messages. It's once you make that sort of public connection, then you drill down and you have more personal conversations that don't necessarily have to be public. And I have to say on Twitter, I've been getting a lot of direct messages lately that sort of thank me for the connection, but also move forward to we're a startup, or we're new, or we've got this product, click here, take a look, can you give me your feedback? There's a lot of conversations going on sort of underneath it all, where people are talking about the needs that they have and reaching out for additional input from people I've just met because we followed each other, yet, craving for that truly objective, information and help. And thank you again, Doreen, for your lovely commentary about me. You and I have known each other for a while, and certainly as you develop relationships over time, you get that kind of recommendation and praise and endorsement. But when you are just starting those relationships and sort of put it on the line and say, look, here's where I am, I could use some help. Can you take a look and see what you think? That kind of sharing and collaboration is extremely valuable, and as I said, happening a lot in those direct messages on social media.
Well, as Jerry and I talk frequently, it's not easy to be in a business. It's not, things, society sometimes make things harder than they have to be. And having the relationships and what you're just speaking of is extremely important, in order to have that support team so that you can actually, move forward. So just throwing that out there.
Well, let me, for one, point out that certainly is a change from what has been thought of for many years, and that was a number of years ago. Somebody, and I don't know who generated it, came up with the slogan, the saying, information is power. And now that we have all this information, we have too much information because of the Internet. And I've revised that saying to say usable information is power.
Good point.
We need to understand what is usable and what is just excessive amount of information. And certainly when, as Ellen says, asking for somebody, can you help me with such and such, whether it's a one-on-one message to an individual or whether it's putting yourself out to a group on social media, the opportunity to obtain feedback is invaluable, because then you may receive some information that can be used. We're all overwhelmed. The Internet is overwhelming, as Doreen mentions. Websites have sub-websites, and there's just so much that is there, and much of it is valuable, but much of it is just repeating and reiterating from other sources and that can just wind up taking an excessive amount and unnecessary amount of time. And of course, time is one of the resources that is limited. We've talked about it in previous podcasts. We've touched on a number of different areas, and for those that are listening today, I encourage you to go back because we've talked about preparing. We've talked about the need for a budget, the need for a business plan to start your organization. We've talked about the need for planning and goal setting. We've touched on the fact that you are going to be a salesperson, even though we're touching on the fact today that sales is not the be-all, end-all. You certainly need to understand that you're going to be a salesperson regardless of what your position is, regardless of whether you're in the business of retail, wholesale, distribution, or professional services. You're going to be in the sales arena, and you need to recognize and understand that you need to fill that role to a large extent. We've talked about whether we're going to be going alone or going with partners. In this case, we're talking about actual partners, where there would be a sharing of resources, hopefully profits, and sharing of the time and the energy that was required to accomplish what the goals of the organization were. We've touched on self-management. We've talked about managing your money. Certainly that starts off with budgeting. We've talked about understanding failure and understanding the risk that's involved. We've mentioned that one who never risks never succeeds. One who lives by the principle is better be safe than sorry is usually both unsafe and sorry left behind by opportunities that have passed them by. But knowing and understanding that we want to take calculated risks, we want to take risks based on valuable information, we want to take risks based on evaluating the situation and knowing what the potential consequence of action and inaction is. Doreen mentioned proactivity. Proactive is one of the key components and one of the essential ingredients to success in anything. And unfortunately, most of the people in this world are reactive. And reactive leads you to a position where you are being affected by something else that was done by others. Sometimes we have no choice. Obviously, we can't control what happens to us at any point in time, but we always can control, how we let what happens impact on us, how we let it, how we see it, and how we allow it to affect our ability to move on and move forward from there. That comes back to attitude, and we've touched on the fact that attitude is extremely important. But turning back to today's topic, and let me mention that the Empower Half Hour is provided by Time to Play as well as some other sponsors. We urge you to take a look at the website, timetoplay.com, see the sponsors, see the special offers from the sponsors, and to support those people that are providing the resources to offer this assistance, to offer this help. And with that said, let me turn back to Ellen and ask her for some further comments.
So, Jerry, I think an amazing example of exactly what we're talking about today, business development through partnership, are the sponsors that work together on this and the event you're putting on and the things. I know a lot of this is local, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Why don't you talk a little bit about how you developed those partnerships?
It's not actually local. We actually have nationwide things rocking along. I've met with the Commissioner of Behavioral Health in Philadelphia. I've met with different people. We have a Enjoy Life community project starting in Massachusetts in an area that needs, a little bit of hope, a very high rate of suicide, low socioeconomic area. basically, it just so happens upon the people. But here's the biggest thing. The foundation is different than anything else ever. Everybody has something to offer that can help someone else. And it doesn't matter how big or small that is, but we all have experience or we all have a talent. And the mantra that this is kind of formed on is people helping people and collaboration equals success. So, because it is so broad, the Time to Play philosophy is happy, healthy, have money, work-life balance, to have quality of life. I have not yet found one person that is not able to contribute something in some manner to this project, because the whole thing is people helping people. The hardest part, and Julie and I talk about it all the time, is the commitment that people can offer. Unfortunately, our society is not, the way that I think it had been years ago, and I guess I'm kind of old, so I grew up in that, like, you give somebody your word, you do it. And I'm sure we all have had that experience where, and I think everybody's also more busy and overwhelmed than ever. We don't unplug. We don't have that family time, and the way that the economy is, a lot of people are, pushing harder to just stay afloat. So I think that there's a lot of things that go into everything. But the foundation really, and anybody listening is more than welcome if there's anything they can contribute in those respects. You're welcome to call. The phone number 631-331-2675. That's the office here. You'll always, no matter what happens in the foundation, always get a person to talk to here. Because, everybody has a talent, a unique talent and a gift, and there's no reason that we can't work together to make things better. And Jerry and I have talked about collaboration versus competition all the time, and that's also not something that's top of mind in our society. I believe that we're taught from getting out of the womb, who's better. It's in my book too. As a matter of fact, I just thought of it when I said that. I talked about that. I mean, even when I used to bring Gregory to my oldest, he's 24, when I used to bring him to the pediatrician when he was an infant, how they have the questions to see what their development levels are, and I would be always boasting, like, oh, yeah, he did this, oh, yeah, he did that, because my kid had to be better. I mean, this is how we're taught, right? Is it true? You have to cream that person or you have to be better. Like, instead of, wait, maybe we can work together and have a better experience. But that's kind of what I've been trying to convey, and it's the way it is, and that's a little bit unique out of our organization, I guess, in comparison to others. There's nothing I can think of that would not fit here. How to make pizza. Well, somebody else might want to know how to make pizza, so they would teach how to make pizza, or how to do art, or how to do something. Everything kind of revolves around quality of life on our foundation. So we're a little different.
Well, Doreen, you're absolutely correct in everything you say, and that we're seeing more and more, and that is co-opetition, where two or more organizations who are in similar or sometimes almost identical businesses are working together because they each may have a specific niche in which they can be superior to the other, and then one can help one another and one can feed off the other. And in that regard, we encourage anybody who listens to these podcasts to provide us with questions, with thoughts, with ideas, with information that you'd like us to touch on in these podcasts, questions that you'd like us to answer. We are setting up some interviews with entrepreneurs over the next couple of months, in which we'll be asking them a series of questions. But we encourage anybody to email to timetoplay.com, or, as Doreen said, call and provide us with what you want us to touch on, you want us to cover in these broadcasts and these podcasts. because it's designed to help you, and it's designed to help you succeed. It's designed to help you enjoy your life. It's designed to help you learn in order to make things better and improve, and that's one of the reasons why we encourage your help and your support in order to help us, help you, and help others. That is the whole intention of the Time to Play Foundation. We are giving in order to help other people learn to enjoy their life. And as Doreen mentioned, to have money, to be healthy, have a work-life balance. And again, all of these things require resources, and this is a resource that is available to anybody. Now, let me also mention, because right here we're on Long Island, we have the Long Island Advancement for Small Business, the LIASB, which has a new entrepreneurs group that meets on a monthly basis in Hauppauge, as does the LIASB, who also meet in Hauppauge at the Adelphi Hauppauge campus. And their intention is, without any investment other than the time to attend the meeting, that is the new entrepreneur group run by Kleiner, to provide insight, to provide information, to provide experience, to provide knowledge, and again, to provide wisdom that has been accumulated and obtained by other people in order to help people have a better opportunity of succeeding. But whether you're talking about an organization like the LIASB, or whether you're talking about the local chambers of commerce, or whether you're talking about many other resources and networks that are available, we implore people to take advantage of those that are willing to give of themselves and give the knowledge and the experience that they have in order to help. Let me, before we wrap up for today, ask Ellen and then Doreen for further comments to tag on what we've talked about today, and that is using outside relationships, building with collaboration in order to have a better ability to succeed. Ellen?
So I think just back to basics, to use another thing that was said, what is it that you're trying to accomplish in your business or your life, and who can best help you? Finding those people, whether it's local or online or through organizations like Time to Play, there are resources out there, and people are very willing to help. And I think it is a combination of giving and then you receive, but it's also the willingness to say that you're interested in help or looking for help. And it could be as simple as, I just don't understand how to write a business plan. It can be as complex as, something very personal and deep affecting you. And the tools are there, from social media and business and personal to organizations such as yourself. I think business development being the topic today is all about who you know, how you leverage those relationships, and how you become a partner in the process to help those who are helping you.
I agree. And honestly, the back to basics is pretty much a theme that I've talked about since beginning the foundation, and even, the works behind everything over the past 5 years that have gone into this. Sometimes we do have to just stop and reevaluate, and that is what back to basics is about. Winning at the game of life. It's time to get back to basics. It could be implemented in every area of our life. We can blame, or we can freak out about something not maybe going the way we want, or we could take a minute and stop and take a step back and look and figure out what's the next best move. And that's quality improvement. My background is over 30 years in that area, so to be able to evaluate, and that's what the back to basics like. So figure out what is that right partner, what is the next best move in your business? What is the next best move to start a business? Instead of hearing, and that's why we do this business success podcast, they went out of business. Well, most businesses fail in the first 3 years. Well, maybe we can do something about it so that doesn't happen. And that's what we're here to do. And people should have opportunities. If we rely only on people giving us jobs, and then all of a sudden they decide to close, where does that put us? So this way we're more empowered by being the leader of our own destiny, right, Jerry?
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe. So.
Doreen, just to your point, I heard somewhere, and I don't have the statistics on this, but the reason so many businesses fail early on is because they quit.
That's
so
absolute.
It's
Jerry and I have that discussion.
Yep.
Yeah, we have that discussion all the time, right, Joe?
Yeah, well, actually, it's important to remember that there's only two reasons for not reaching a goal, and that is not starting and not finishing. It sounds very simplistic, but it happens to be very true. And there's no reason to quit because you're going to experience adversity. You're going to experience obstacles. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be roadblocks. It's part of the process. If things were easy, everybody would have everything they want to have. So we can understand to begin with that you're going to face these things, but you need to, as was said by one of the main advertisers, I think that might have been Nike, and that is keep on keeping on. So that is one of the reasons why we are providing these podcasts. So I want to thank Ellen for her participation and her insight and her knowledge. Doreen, as always, for starting the foundation and for providing the potential opportunity for people to succeed and enjoy their life. And we will be back on the air next Tuesday. And these podcasts are available on Blog Talk Radio at any point in time. So let me thank everybody and wish everybody a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for coordinating everything. And thank you, Ellen, for being with us today.
Always a pleasure.
Take care.
Bye.
Everyone likes data because when you have more data, you have more freedom. Freedom to do whatever. That's why AT&T is offering you 15 gigabytes for $100 plus $15 for each line. Because the more data you have, the more freedom you can enjoy. Freedom to post more memories, download more fun, and share what matters most with who matters most. 15 gigs of data for $100 plus $15 for each line at AT&T. What more could you want? I sure can't think of anything. AT&T. Mobilizing your world.
Come in now and get the all-new LG V10, designed to capture, edit, and share high-quality video.
Pricing is monthly for service on smartphones on AT&T Next. Other pricing options available. Overage monthly and other charges and restrictions apply. See a store for details.